So, a wonderful good afternoon, dear LinkedIn and Composites community. I have a special announcement today, and that is we are going to start and incorporate LightCon, the Lightweight Technologies Conference exhibition format in Germany. And my guests today are Klaus Drechsler, Professor Dr. Klaus Drechsler, who is the spokesman of Composites United. Then we have Bastian Branken, who is responsible for the conference topics. Amer Affan, he is today here from Dubai. So he is in a different time zone right now, in a different geographic area. But as you see, it looks great. This connection is stable. And then, of course, we have Thomas Pinkowski, who is the project director of the newly established LightCon. So, in order to have you all introduced, may I ask you, we go just through the clockwise through this order, starting with Bastian. Bastian, can you introduce yourself? What is your role at Composites United? What is your role with the LightCon? Yeah, and what will we be speaking about today with you?
Yes, thank you, Ilkay. Hello, everybody. I'm very pleased to be on this LinkedIn Live with you here today. My name is Bastian Branken. I'm the managing director of the regional cluster in the north, the CU Nord at Composites United, and I had also a key role in establishing the conference program for the first LightCon, and I'm very excited to discuss topics with you today, what you can expect visiting the LightCon, for whom the LightCon is interesting. So I'm very happy to talk about this today with you and to discuss it with you.
Okay, wonderful. So next in line is then Professor Dr. Klaus Drechsler. Please have a short introduction of yourself for our community that is in the composite sector. Of course, everyone knows Dr. Klaus Drechsler, but maybe there are some new followers in the end user area, and please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so welcome also from my side. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Klaus Drechsler. I'm professor at the Technical University of Munich and the director of the chair for carbon composites. And in parallel, I'm the director of the Fraunhofer IGCV in Augsburg and also at Fraunhofer with more application-related research. We are working on composite materials and structures and automation technologies. With Composites United and Carbon Composite EV, I'm right from the very, very beginning when we started this networking initiative. And now I'm very happy and very proud to be the spokesman of the Presidium of Composites United.
Wonderful. And I was at Fraunhofer IGCV. Thanks for opening the doors lately in January. And it was very, very impressive, Herr Drechsler. So next in line, then let me greet our international guests, Dr. Amer Affan. Yeah, I hope I pronounce it the right way. Dr. Affan, please introduce yourself. What's your role? What's your mission? And what do we expect today from you? What can we expect today from you?
First of all, I'm really honored that I'm invited to this first ever LinkedIn conference. My name is Amer Affan, and I'm the owner and managing director of a company called Affan Innovative Structures in Dubai. We have been using composites for building material. And recently we had completed the construction of the Museum of the Future in Dubai. In my opinion, maybe the largest construction project in composites. That's it. The whole facade is made of carbon fiber as well as glass fiber. And I would like to talk to you about that and how we did it.
Wonderful. Yes, that was the announcement. We will talk about the Museum of the Future down in Dubai. I've seen the construction site already back in 2019, if I remember correctly, passing by on Sheikh Zayed Road. And I was always thinking, how is it possible that people will be inside this building? Because the building is a hollow structure. There's a hole in the middle. It is circular. And I'm really thrilled to ask Dr. Affan today, how is it possible to make constructions like this? And as far as I see now, of course, composites played a major role in this. So for everyone who has now tuned in, thank you for watching our LinkedIn Live. We are introducing you today LightCon, the conference format that will take place on the 1st and 2nd of June here in Germany, in Hanover. This LightCon is important because Germany's government has called out lightweight technologies as a key technology. So the German government is fully supporting this conference. And let me take now Bastian into our stage. Basically, what we will talk today is, in the first part, we will talk about the idea of LightCon, and in the second part, we will talk about the museum in Dubai. So stay tuned. Bastian will be also our engagement officer while I'm interviewing our guests here. Bastian will screen your questions and comments, and we cordially invite you to ask your questions, any questions you have related to LightCon, to Composites United, and the museum in Dubai. Please put them in the chat, and we will make all effort to answer everything today. So, Bastian, thanks for being here. We have to tell the community that actually Gunnar Merz, the CEO of Composites United, should be at that place right now, but for personal reasons, we had to accept his absence for now. And you are, of course, a genius in, being the vice CEO at the Stade operation, and you are now the second in the line. And you are at the same time, however, at the LightCon, the conference topics, former and organizer, coordinator. And my question first to you is regarding Composites United and LightCon. What is the purpose of LightCon? Can you explain us and walk us through, as a co-founder, as Composites United is a co-founder of LightCon, what is the idea behind this?
Well, the purpose of LightCon is to be the new international platform for lightweight design. You already mentioned the German government has identified lightweight design as a game-changer technology, a key technology. And this is the case because we, as you all know, we face the challenge of climate change. We need to become carbon neutral. We need to ensure the future and to sustain the future of for future generations to come. The planet needs to be kept alive, kept healthy. And but on the other hand, we don't want to lower our life standards, right? So we need smart technology to move to that carbon neutrality, and lightweight design, using less resources, using less fuel for transportation is a key technology. Getting close to the goal of future carbon neutrality, but at the same time maintaining life standards. And LightCon is supposed to be, or will be the cross-material and cross-industry platform to have a fruitful exchange across players engaged in lightweight design across the different fields. Because we believe this is really a big and an important requirement that we have such a platform in order to be successful and achieve these goals that we have. I think you're muted, okay?
Yeah, sorry, there was some tone interruptions and I thought I'm muting myself, but unmuting is also as important. So Composites United has roughly 300, 400 members. So it's quite the largest community in composites in the world. So for whom did you actually design this LightCon? For whom is it particularly?
Well, it's basically for everyone engaged and interested in the field of lightweight design. So it's really for all players in this field. So from the technicians, engineers, all the way to management and decision makers. Because visitors will see the latest developments and trends in lightweight design. So, for instance, as a company visiting the LightCon, you could have already taken a look at lightweight design, how this could benefit your products, your competitiveness. So you can learn what are the right materials, what are the right production processes to realize that idea, or what could be other ideas to make my product, my solutions more competitive and more sustainable at the same time. This is what I mentioned, using less resources, using less fuel while in the use phase. This will be major decision markers and in critical points for the future competitiveness of products and solutions, especially in the transportation sector, but also, as we will see today, in construction and other fields. So yes, LightCon is will really be a platform for everyone interested and engaged in the field.
Okay, wonderful. So I will be posting soon also the target group on LinkedIn, because you have quite an extensive list on your website, and I have a nice story on that. So stay tuned. My final question to you, Bastian, before we turn to Dr. Drechsler, and I turn later on to you as the officer today regarding the engagement, is something very surprising happened. So this LightCon has been postponed, I think 2 times, maybe even 3 times. I'm not sure. For sure 2 times, yeah. And it was now postponed, of course, to the 1st and 2nd of June, and now it will take place for sure. But what happened now is, by surprise, the big sister of LightCon, or shall we say even the mother of LightCon, Hannover Messe, the world's largest industrial exhibition, has now hopped over also into that week. How did that happen? And what's the benefit for the people that will be visiting the Lightweight Summit that is taking place on the Monday, the 31st of May, and then on LightCon having further lightweight topics?
Well, you already mentioned it or indicated that Corona happened. So the pandemic took longer than expected. The Hanover Fair was postponed to the to the LightCon week, basically. And initially we thought, could this be a problem? But then we realized the big advantage for visitors, because people interested in the field of lightweight design and new innovations in that field are now able to come to Hanover, and all the interesting things are concentrated in 1 week. So we have the Lightweighting Summit on the 31st of May, and then the next 2 days, 1st and 2nd of June, there will be the LightCon with our exciting cross-industry, cross-material conference program. And so there are lots of good arguments to come to Hanover this week. And in addition, we have the Hanover Fair, the big Hanover Fair, largest industry fair of the world, in parallel to the LightCon fair, right? So we will have also exhibitors at the LightCon. So this will be very beneficial for both events, because visitors of the Hanover Fair can visit the fair at LightCon and vice versa. So we invite you to come to Hanover and participate in this great week for lightweight design.
Okay, wonderful. And how that works with the tickets, we will discuss that with Thomas Pinkowski at the end of our LinkedIn live show. So stay tuned until the end, until we have, also talked about the museum. Thank you, Bastian, so far. And let's take now Klaus onto the stage. I welcome Klaus once again onto the stage. So that should be working now with the tone even. Yes, and I'll take us into the portrait mode. Klaus, my question then to you is, now we know about the LightCon, and now you as the spokesman, the top man of Composites United, what do the CU members, so Composites United members, say about this format? How do they feel about it?
I think there are 2 important and exciting topics. One is, of course, we are all enthusiastic about carbon composites. That's a unique material with a high lightweight potential, with a lot of functionalities, but very often hybrid structures are the best solutions. And therefore, it's very important for us to cross borders and not only to know everything about carbon composites and to be in our community with the material scientists, with the structure mechanics scientists, process technologies from university to applications and suppliers. All these topics are covered by our members, but we want to cross borders to discuss also other lightweight materials, to discuss hybrid structures, to discuss what we call smart structures and intelligent structures, where we have a mix of materials. Because again, very often aluminium is a good solution. Steel is a fantastic material. Again, our heart counts for carbon composites, but there are also other materials, and it's very important to know what's going on there and to offer to our clients the best solution. And this best solution can very often be a hybrid structure. And so lightweight design means to use carbon composites, but also to know what's going on in the other material technologies and to combine them to design the best product and to produce the best product. That's our goal.
Yeah, that's a wonderful view that you are taking from the viewpoint of the end user, the construction people, the R&D people at the end users. But sometimes I hear, people saying, well, this is not a composite show, it's lightweight materials. There are so many different materials. How would you motivate a composite manufacturer, component manufacturer, still be at LightCon and look at LightCon as a feasible and good way into their market?
I think that's the other big advantage, and this was really by accident. We as composite people meet in our conferences and exhibitions. For example, the whole composite community met 2 weeks ago in Paris at JC. That's very important for us, and it was very exciting after 2 years of virtual meetings to be in presence, to meet, to have a coffee together and a beer together in the evening. But this was the composite community. And now to be so close to the Hanover exhibition, the Hanover Fair, offers us the possibility to talk to other people. And for us, it's very important to open our minds, to be close to new clients, to understand the needs of other clients. Because you have to know composite materials, especially carbon composite, they started in aerospace. Because in aerospace technologies with the A300, for example, the Airbus with a fin structure, their lightweight was very, very important. And so it was logical that carbon composite started in aerospace. Then automotive industry came as a very important topic. BMW with the i3, for example. But now we also have to look for new markets. We have to explain to the new clients, to the new markets, what have we achieved. So carbon composite is no longer a very complicated material. It's not by nature an expensive material, because we have achieved a lot of new results, new technologies, new materials, for example, in our leading edge cluster, MyCarbon. And we have to explain this to the community and also to new markets. And we want to be close to these new markets. And I think to be close to Hanover Fair offers a lot of opportunities in this respect.
Absolutely. That is really a very nice, fortunate occurrence that has taken place. And 3 days of lightweight competence on the Lightweight Summit, and then the LightCon is a genius parallel to what we have covered 2 weeks ago at JEC. There was JEC, there was the Pultrusion Conference, there was a whole week of composites events during that week, and we have a similar thing here, but more on lightweight technologies. Okay, wonderful. Klaus, let us now start the bridging to our main topic today, which is composites in constructions. We have Amer here, and we will have him just in a minute here on the screen. So how important and which role does now composites play in the construction business? In my view, you said yourself, Airbus A300, A380, these are, or now the Dreamliner, if we take the Boeing version into account, they have extensive use in lightweight percentages. We are now nearing to 50%, or already are at 50% of the weight of a plane. So now we are moving also to the construction side. In my imagination, construction's always been concrete, always been, stone on stone, because there's nothing really moving there, and it doesn't need to be so lightweight. So what is the benefit now coming from composites that we can promote more composites in the construction and even further in the infrastructure business?
Yeah, there are several topics. I think one topic we will hear a lot in a minute. It offers new design possibilities. I think it's a material where the architect can really design with and create new shapes and completely new architectural designs. And I think this is very exciting for the architect. The second big topic is sustainability. You mentioned concrete, and concrete is not very sustainable material. And we have other topics like corrosion. We have lightweight design in transporting these structures on the street. And I think their lightweight design is also important. And so I think there are several topics. It's the same sustainability. It's the new flexibility, the new creativity of the architects. We have, of course, to bring their know-how and their ideas together with our know-how in working with composite materials in construction industry. So in our laboratory at Fraunhofer, for example, we are operating several pultrusion machines. And I think pultrusion, for example, is a very exciting technology for architects because it can be quite cheap. We can really produce very long structures, and there are several examples in bridges, but also in other architectures where these pultruded structures are very important, also now in wind energy. And therefore, again, it's very important to work on these topics in Composites United and in a fair like the LightCon to discuss, to exchange the know-how and the need of the architects and the construction industry and bring it together with our know-how from green carbon fibers to design methodology to manufacturing technologies. And pultrusion is only one example of several technologies we have in mind for architects and for the construction industry.
Yeah. Let me, Klaus, come back to one point that you have mentioned in a side note. Construction and concrete not being as sustainable as one might think. Prior to this live, I tried to figure out what it means, because I heard 8% of the global CO2 footprint is contributed to the production of concrete.
Yes.
We are not talking about the production of CO2 by the household using fireplaces or your warm douche and shower, pardon, in English. Not that goes through the chimney. I'm not talking about that, because that is way higher. That is maybe 25 or even 30%. We are not talking about the production of concrete. Can you confirm that figure more or less, 8%? Because that really surprised me. That's very high.
Yeah, that's true. And this is can be our contribution to sustainability in construction industry, because as an example, we are working now on so-called green carbon fibers. And these carbon fibers are not based on oil like they do up to now, but on biological growing material. And we really have the potential to capture carbon during the production of the carbon fibers and to use this in buildings. And I think this can be or will be a very big contribution to sustainability in construction industry and architecture.
Okay, wonderful. So that is clarified too. So we want to contribute with composites to a much greener world. So thank you, Klaus, for now. We will come back to you later on. I'll take now Bastian once again onto the screen, because what we want to do right now is check and screen the questions and comments in our chat. So if you have tuned in at a later moment, there is a chat function down in our LinkedIn Live, and this is why I love this LinkedIn Live so much, because we are interactive. And Bastian has screened, hopefully by now, all the comments, and let's go through them step by step. I will show them now here.
Yes, Ilkay, we have an international audience, participants from Germany, of course, from Mannheim in Germany, from Hamburg in Germany, but also from India. So it's a very exciting, I think it's a very exciting audience. Feel free to ask your question throughout the LinkedIn Live. I'm happy to read it, and we are happy to answer it and address it.
So Andrea says, thank you for the informative overview. Yeah, you're welcome. Andrea says, we have activities during week 22 from Grönat, Hamburg. Yeah, that's fine. So they're an exhibitor, or are they in the conference? Is Andrea in the conference giving a speech?
She's the exhibitor.
She's an exhibitor. Okay, wonderful. Okay, thank you, Andrea, for tuning in. And now let's please play the drum rolls, and we take on now Amer from Dubai. Amer, welcome to our show. It's an honor to have you here from sunny Dubai. You may see that sometimes I have some sweat drops here because of the lightning, and Germany gets a little warmer. Tomorrow I'm flying to Mallorca, which is 30 degrees Celsius. But how hot is it right now in Dubai?
Actually, we have a sandstorm since yesterday, so the weather is really terrible. And today reached about 44 degrees, but at least it is dry. I mean, normally when it's humid and hot, then it is unbearable.
Absolutely. I was in Saudi Arabia in the desert. There was about 50 degrees Celsius, but I did not really sense the heat because it was so dry. So I never thought that 50 degrees Celsius can be like an ambient temperature in the field. Yeah? I'm a little exaggerating now, but it was really not that bad. Yeah?
Water.
Yeah. So the humidity makes the rest. Okay. Amer, is it okay? I say Amer to you. All my LinkedIn Live guests, I'm calling them by the first name because you are really an authority out there in Dubai. And as I said, I was driving through that fantastic building, or passing by that fantastic building many times when I was, opposite the World Trade Center. There's a nice hotel where I stay always, and then drive, with a convertible, the rooftop open, and then I saw that nice building, and I was always wondering what that building is. Can you tell us what is, just basically start with the idea of the museum? What's the idea behind it? Not many people may be aware of this gigantic building. Why has it been made, and what's the idea behind it?
The museum is actually acts as an incubator for new ideas. So in other words, it's not like a museum where you see what's happened in the past. You put a new idea, and the exhibits change every 6 months. So it's nothing new, nothing fixed. It's just, if you have a better idea, a good idea, put it. That is the essential here. And the building itself is a proof that everything is possible. So
absolutely,
really the main issue. And if you look at the calligraphy on the building, it's a poet by the Sheikh Mohammed of Dubai. And what he says, he said, the future belongs to those who can imagine it, design it, and execute it. Another sentence, the future does not wait. The future can be designed and built today. So in other words, get on and move on and do it. You don't have to wait for you to come here. So that is actually the building itself. And everybody looks at it, it's an awesome building by anybody's standard. It's called the most beautiful building in the world. That's what the Sheikh thinks of it. And we all think of it as well. We don't disagree.
Indeed.
And it is shown to be, yes, you can do it. Go ahead and do it.
Wonderful.
That's the function of the building.
Very, very good. So when designing the building, so I understand you were involved in the design. Have you designed this building, or have you been contributing some parts to this building as your company? What is the role in the design? Now let's talk about the design first.
No, there's an architect who designed the building. We did not do the design for the building.
Mm-hmm.
However, there was a facade. There was also an idea how the facade should look like. So we designed the facade.
Mm-hmm.
And not only to be able to design it, but also to be able to realize it. Everybody could design something on a piece of paper, but you just have to build it eventually. And it's not an easy task. So our role was simply to, engineer the building and eventually build it and install it. So we did a turnkey job. We designed, we engineered, we fabricated, and we installed. And that's only for the facade.
The building, as you say, is very, very difficult, of course, because of this structure that is circular. Yeah. I was thinking in my naivety that people may be walking only on the base floor. But tell me, are the people not also walking around that building, in the whole building?
Yes, we are. There are 7 floors in this building.
Okay.
The floor space is 9 meters.
Yeah.
And but there are no columns in the building. The whole building is hanging from the facade.
Okay. And that's now the
important to have a composite facade, because every kilogram counts.
Every kilogram counts, yeah. And this is basically now where your know-how comes into play. That means the features have been, of course, on the one side, the requirement has to be lightweight.
Yes.
But on the other side, you had to make sure that you have enough stiffness or strength of the facade, so that the facade is a part of the statics of the building. Is that right?
Not exactly quite right, because there's the die grid in steel. They are the one who actually carrying the building. And we just do not want to overload them. So that's why the facade, which sits on the die grid, has to be able to move with the die grid, and at the same time looks pretty and as light as possible.
Okay. And what other features were you looking at when you were producing these panels?
Now, there are many features. First of all, there are 1,000 panels are the same. Mm-hmm. So if you look at when we do design in composites, we do a mold, and when we make it here, the mold itself costs normally more than the item itself. So we had to find a way to do the molds relatively quickly and cheaply. That is one major issue. The second major issue on the design outside, because of the building, the way it's surrounded, so it has the facade is the same thing. It's a roof. The same thing is a basement. And there are different criteria in the building codes as to the fire requirements, whether this material is used in a facade or in a roof or in a basement. So you have to do many different tests on the same material that it actually withstand the fire. And the third thing about it, which is an architectural feature, the windows which you see are recessed into the facade. So when they are recessed into the facade, you don't want to have dirty water hanging in between. So you have to make a drainage for all of those. So it was quite a complicated building to do, and you have to do it for construction. And essentially, each panel is like building I wouldn't say an airplane, but it literally totally is starting from scratch. Every single panel is different.
If you had to, for some reason, I don't know, thunderstorm or anything damages the facade,
you could replace every panel at all. You can
replace them.
Every panel is that's another area. Each panel of when you build something, it's never 100% perfect. So you have to have what you call an adjustment technique within each panel to be able to adjust it and move it in 3D.
Okay.
And we had to do with this adjustment. So there's lots of actuators in the way we attack the facades.
Okay, wonderful. So replacement is also not a problem. Great.
The
other one is, what are then the trade-offs of lightweight materials? I mean, okay, of course, we are lightweight experts here and professionals, and we want, of course, lightweight to be in the forefront. But do you see some trade-off compared to concrete or other building materials?
First of all, they're more expensive than concrete. Concrete is much cheaper. So, or any other building material, it might come down in price because initially, like everything else, first starts as a very expensive material, and then when the production goes up, it reduces in price. But there's another issue of lightweight, and I will explain to you about it. Lightweight does not absorb sound.
Okay.
So you have to be careful about that. So you have to make sure whatever you do is actually you soundproof it properly. We live in houses. We don't want to hear everybody else's next door to us. So concrete absorbs sound, or any heavy material for that matter. So lightweight, it has this disadvantage. It's inherent in its weight.
Okay. So acoustics is a
major issue.
Is an issue.
We don't feel it in the car. You don't feel it in an airplane. But in a construction, and when you live in a house, yes, you are concerned about acoustics.
Yeah, because in the car or in the plane, you got anyway wind noise that is probably louder than the people speaking nearby on the street or in the car with the music once the windows are closed. Of course, yeah. The other thing that was crossing my mind, Amer, is now I've been to Dubai several times, and as you said before, you got 44 degrees Celsius right now. That will go up to probably 50, 55 maybe in August. So how about the durability of this building? Do we have any trade-offs in the durability?
No.
What is the design lifetime of this building?
I mean, building of this nature has a design, like we designed every item of it to about for 100 years span.
Yeah.
And also the loading was taking like a 100 years occurrence on any of the loads. So the panels can withstand almost 400 kilogram of direct force on them per square meter from a wind here. We had to design them also for earthquake. So they're actually able to, and that's a lightweight design is one of the best things to do for earthquake, because simply the lighter the weight you move, the better it is. Apart from that, it is much more durable than any other material. And this is one of the reasons why it was chosen. And obviously, the main reason it was chosen, you cannot do it in other materials. I think only composite could achieve these shapes. No other material do it.
So can we say that sand, humidity, what else do we have? Heat does not really play a major.
Not at all. If anything, yes, composite actually even much better than any other material for that. Okay. It's the opposite way. It's not just it doesn't affect it. It's actually I would choose composite over the other materials simply for that reasons.
Okay, wonderful. So that really speaks for the composite materials. Would you be able to tell us about and give us a bit of an insight into your manufacturing process of these facade elements? I mean, what really springs into your eyes, of course, is it silver colored surface, for example? How do you apply that? Is that a gel coat?
No. It's actually stainless steel sheets.
Okay, stainless steel. All right.
And if you look at it, there are two things about the stainless steel sheets. You think it's a paint. It's almost 0.8 millimeter sheets. They are embossed, so you don't have a reflection from the sun, so you don't blind the motorists when they're driving. And to be able to drape these what you call stiff metal sheets onto the 3D dimensions of the building, we had to cut them into small hexagons. So these sheets actually, it's made of millions of 60 millimeter hexagons. That's how the building is made up. And each hexagon is attached directly to the composite body of the facade. So that's
wonderful.
What it is.
Okay. So, Bastian, do we have any questions to Amer?
Yes, actually we do. We do. Mr. Solanki from, I think, India. I think he was the one calling in from India. Yes, he was. He actually asked 2 questions, Amer. And one, I think you already partly answered. Does insulation and fire safety go along with acoustic values? I think that is, you mentioned fire safety, that this has to be solved. In the insulation, yes, is a part of it, but the acoustic values, maybe you can comment on what did you do to overcome the discrepancies in acoustic insulation?
Essentially, we insulated the building from acoustic as well as heat. We used almost 400 millimeter thick rock wool at the back of each panel to insulate it, first of all from temperature, but also from sound. And this is beautiful sound. But there are many other ways to insulate from acoustic. There is what you call it mass-loaded vinyl, which you could do it at the back of each panel. And that is this is the material used primarily for making soundproof rooms for studios or recording studios. So there are many ways to do it, but do not expect the light material to do it by itself. You have to be more active in doing it yourself. You have to do add extra material.
Yeah. So put in some weight somewhere.
Exactly. Yes.
I see. And there's another question: thermoplastic or thermoset lightweight composites? What did you use?
We use the thermoset.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. That's why I had to interrupt it, maybe.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. That's fine. I've showed you just now a pre-picture of a lady that is part of a YouTube video. So for our community, if you are interested in this building, I will show you a YouTube video. So it's a YouTube video. I have to highlight it's a YouTube video, and I will provide the link to that YouTube video also in this notes, so that we are sure that we are able to show you this. Amer was involved in that, and therefore I don't think it's a problem to give you some insights, because Amer is also interviewed in that video, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember? Yes, you remember that video, right? So we have that here. Okay. Yes. So that's about. Let me take once again Klaus also on the screen. Klaus, do you have any more questions to Amer, or anything that you say that should be also mentioned in conjunction with composites?
So come to Hannover.
Yeah.
Discuss with us. With Amer, we are very exciting. Looking forward to your presentation. Looking forward to meet the composite community, but many more people at the Hannover Fair.
Okay, can I add one thing which is really important in constructions?
Yes.
A composite is not a approved material.
Oh.
In construction. Explain. In other words, the materials are, if you go to, let's say you build a house and you want to get your material approved or certified by the authorities, they have a list of material what's supposed to be building materials. That includes stone, timber, glass, aluminium, steel, concrete. Composite is not one of those materials. So this is one of the major obstacles of adapting lightweight material in composites into construction. Literally at the approval stage, they tell you, okay, well, composite is not an approved material, so you're not allowed to build it. This is particularly in Germany. So I would like people to address this issue at one point.
Okay, that's a great
special approval. We got the approval for the facade, but composite as a material is not a material. If nobody knows what composite is, it could be anything. It's a composite.
Exactly.
And this is what normally, if you literally go to anywhere in Germany, if you want to build any building and ask them, I want to build it in composite, they tell you, we don't know what that is, so you cannot build your building.
Okay. So the government of Germany is Schirmherr. I don't know what the English expression of Schirmherr. of LightCon. Even the Minister of Economics is involved in that. So this is a great call to action by you, Amer. And we will address this, hopefully. And I'm sure Klaus has also the direct link to these persons. Is there anything, Klaus, that points to that direction, that composites may be a construction material of the future?
You mean together with the political discussions, or
like Amer said, it's not homologated, it's not approved by the government or by the standards.
Yeah, so we have to convince. Again, it's a matter of networking, of transferring our know-how, that the administration knows about the potential, the possibilities, but of course all the disadvantages, the issues of composite materials. And again, LightCon, I think, will be a good basis, a good platform to inform them, to get in contact, to discuss, and to network.
Great.
Can I give you a tip at this stage? If you are talking to this one here, now, the timber is a composite. It's made of fibers held together in epoxy-like medium.
Yeah.
It's not any different. Timber is an approved material.
Yeah.
But so if you play along those lines,
we are
you might
start
have
from zero.
Great analogy. Yes, that's right.
Okay.
As I said, timber, everybody accepted. Not only that, at the moment, there's a lot of push towards use of timber because of sustainable material. And in the conference, I will be talking about this particular subject, how to overcome the approval process.
Okay, good.
Wonderful. Amer, that's a wonderful analogy that can be very, very useful. So does that also mean, in other words, that the Emirates or the state of Dubai has approved composites as a construction material, or has it been a special case in this case where you had to provide special case?
But we have approval for timber buildings.
Okay.
And encased timber buildings. And the reinforced timber buildings could be reinforced by fiberglass or carbon. And how to talk about it. So you're not building a composite building, you're building a timber building, but maybe a bit stronger timber. And that is the way to go around it.
Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. So that's it for now. So we discussed LightCon, we discussed Composites United, how Composites United challenges the markets with composites in the construction industry. We've proven with the Museum of the Future that it's possible to use composites extensively in big construction buildings for even the public, not only the private, but also public buildings. I thank you so much, Amer and Klaus, for being part of our show. And I would like to turn for now to Thomas and would like to tell the community how to get to LightCon.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, Dr. Affan, Professor Drechsler, and also Dr. Brenken for the speech before. And first of all, some words about my person. My name is Thomas Pinkowski. I'm working for Deutsche Messe for 15 years, most of the time for the big industry show Hanover Fair, Hanover Messe, and therefore the energy topics. And last year, I think it was in October, I was asked to take over the project management for LightCon, and I did have to wait. So I did yes. I said yes, and therefore since December I'm the project director for LightCon. And so Dr. Affan, some words from the poetry that impressed me very much. The future is not waiting. get on, move on, and make it. And that's why we will do the LightCon. And we are inviting all of you to visit the LightCon on these 2 very interesting days. We have a very strong conference. Bastian was very much involved, and I see also some speakers in the audience right now. Yannick Willemin, for example, from 90 Labs. We met at JEC in Paris, and I was very impressed also from the composites community. And I listened to Professor Drechsler that the cross material is very important, and that's what we are going to do with LightCon, to invite the community from also the other materials like composites, and we want to invite also from steel, aluminium, wood, and some more material parts, and also the cross industry we want to invite to be part of, from the automotive sector, from the aerospace sector, also from the train sector and shipping sector, but also from, for example, how is it called? The private sector, like bicycles, like the frames from bicycles. I was also impressed and to see all the bicycles in Paris, and I would like to take one because I'm riding also a little bit. So we have these 2 days, and we are offering you a 2-day ticket, conference ticket, and with this ticket you're invited to visit the lectures, but also we have catering for you and the pauses, and to visit the show, and we are using also the opportunity to be parallel to Hannover Messe. So with your conference ticket for LightCon, you can visit also on these 2 days, 1st and 2nd of June. You can visit also the Hannover Messe. That's that I think it's a great opportunity for all of us, and we will get a good boost from Hannover Messe.
Thomas, I have to ask you also some logistical things, because the one or the other follower here on LinkedIn asked me, Ilkay, it's nice that we have now this LightCon, but we checked hotel availability. It is becoming a bit of a challenge. Now there is this ICE station, ICE Bahnhof in Deutsch, of Laatzen. Is there a possibility to, stay a bit outside of Hanover and travel by train to your place?
Yeah, that's right. That's a good idea. And so the ECE will make a special stop during this Hannover Messe week, and also for LightCon. And therefore, it's a good thing to have a look for hotels a little bit in the south, maybe in Göttingen, and to make a half-hour trip to the ECE stop in Laatzen, the train station Laatzen. And so you can spare a little bit of money for your hotel room, of course. So this is the misadvantage for being parallel to Hannover Messe, that all the hotels will increase their prices. That's right.
Yes. I have booked already my hotel months ago. You were mentioning November. I think at that time we were somehow still in the lockdown and prices were okay, but now they are skyrocketing at this time. But we can also say that LightCon will stay at this time frame, June, and next year Hannover Messe will be at its traditional time, that is in April each year. So next
Correct.
year we will not have this same challenge, but this year we ask our audience just to somehow deal with this slight challenge. But all the people in the composite and lightweight industry, they are creative people. They are people that can improvise. So I'm sure you will find a solution also on this one. So let me also ask you, Thomas, on the format. So LightCon is not a classical exhibition. Your weight and your underlining, your focus is more a conference, but you have, of course, some exhibition booth and stands. So how big are the booths? How big are the stands? And do the speakers all have a stand? How do I need to imagine that?
I think more or less half of the speakers, or a little bit less than half of the speakers, we have some dozens of exhibitors, and we are starting with packages. So the companies are not installing their own stands, so we are offering them some booths, I think between 9 square meters and some 30 square meters. And we have also a group stand. And what we also want, there's a lounge where we are offering all the catering, drinks, and food for the conference attendees, and also for the speakers, and also for the exhibitors. So in this catering area that will be in Hall 19, there will be a good community, good possibility for networking, and we will organize also on the 1st of June the LightCon at night. So there will be an evening event, and so every conference participant and speaker and exhibitors invited to be part of it and have a drink, listen to some music, and have some nice food. So
do some socializing after this long period of time. This is really appreciated. Thank you so much, Thomas, for offering such an opportunity. Okay, and how is the availability of booth and visitors? Do you have any contingents? Are you limited somehow, or do you say, no, let's go, and if you want to short notice book something, be our guest? Well, what's the situation there?
So I received today also my last application form to be an exhibitor. So we have a very good company, a building company for exhibition, and but in case you're interested, so don't wait as long. So it has to be this week. Then I think we can offer something. And to book your ticket, it's the best time right now. For Composites United members, we are offering also a special price that you can see on the website. So get in touch with Composites United or with me, and we will provide you with a special price, special premier price. And but in case you're interested to participate as an exhibitor, you have to hurry up, of course.
Yeah, as you hurry up till the end of this week, Thomas can still organize something. Other than that, it will become, of course, difficult, because there will be some design freeze of the floor at some point required, of course. Yeah, but it's good news that you still accept some exhibitors. And of course, for the visitors, they can, buy the tickets even, one day before or on the same day still, if they can decide short notice.
You have to do it with your cell phone. We will not have how's it called, a cash counter or something like that. You have to order your tickets online, and then of course you can order your tickets the same day at the exhibition ground. But it would be great to plan your visit to Hanover some days before. But whenever you have a question, get in touch with me, and I will answer it. And when you have a problem with something, let me know. We will find a solution.
Thomas is the professional who looks after you around 360 degrees. He has everything in his hands. Everything comes together with Thomas. Thomas, thank you so much for this support here in this LinkedIn Live. I've put myself now into the shoes of a visitor and an exhibitor, and therefore I ask you all these questions. And please understand that I have to ask also the location and the logistics side of the things, because that's something that concerns, of course, our participants. Yeah?
Of course. Thank you, Ilkay.
Okay, wonderful. So I will take now one more time Bastian into the ring and ask Bastian, do we have still anything ongoing in the questions or in the comments?
There was another hello from Bavaria, and There was a thumbs up for you, Ilkay. Once again, another great LinkedIn Live. No further questions. So I think all questions were answered.
Everything is answered. Wonderful. Okay. Paul says, great LinkedIn Live once again. Ilkay, thank you, Paul, so much. I hope to meet you on LightCon. Let's have a drink and a selfie together and post it on LinkedIn. Wonderful. So I take everyone once again finally into the screen. And my typical last question is always, what is your final call to action? So what should viewers that have viewed this LinkedIn Live now do? Bastian, you first.
Well, it's very easy and I can make it very short. Just come to LightCon and let's have a drink together at the LightCon by Night evening event. I really look forward to meeting you in person.
Perfect. Okay. Amer, your turn.
Please consider composites in your future projects. There's a lot of potential in it, and we have not even scratched the surface.
Super, super. Thomas?
Get on, move on, and make it. The future is not waiting. Get your ticket for LightCon, and let's have a beer at LightCon.
I like this.
Okay, gentlemen, I will say goodbye for now. For all the community, thank you for tuning in. I always watched on my mobile phone. There have been a number of live viewers here. And thank you for everyone, investing their personal time to watch this LinkedIn Live. We really appreciate that. Please leave a comment if you find this useful. If you have any suggestions, how we can, put more content on composites into the LinkedIn feed. If you have tuned in at a later stage, we have talked today about LightCon, a new lightweight conference format. We've talked about Composites United, why they have been co-founding this. We talked about the Museum of the Future. Amer has given us some very valuable insights and background information, behind the scenes information that were so valuable and that can be really a game changer and a forerunner for composites in the construction sector. And then Thomas has explained you how you can still book your exhibition booth if you are interested to exhibit, or if you say you want to just look around and talk to the people at LightCon, you're welcome to book your ticket by the 31st of May. Please do that remotely on your smartphone or on your desktop. There will be no cashier on site. Please do that before. And now I say goodbye to everyone. Thank you so much. And if you want to have a look, this is the building we were talking about. This is a YouTube video. I will also send in this show notes the original link to this YouTube video so that you can find it also there and watch it later on, because I will trim this video afterwards out of this grand LinkedIn Live. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And see you latest in Hanover. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
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 Welcome to the interesting flow. How was the amazing Museum of the Future in Dubai built? Let's find out. The Museum of the Future is one of the most difficult construction projects ever attempted in Dubai, a city that is rapidly expanding. Residents of Dubai, where tower complexes appear out of nowhere, have mastered the art of averting their gaze. The Museum of the Future, looming over the city's elevated, driverless metro system on the edge of the financial sector, has captured everyone's eye. The museum's framework, made up of 2,400 diagonally intersecting steel pieces, was finished in November 2018. The museum will open a year from now, on October 20, 2020, when Dubai will host the World Expo. The museum's futuristic shape is a torus with an elliptical vacuum, but a huge hula hoop would be a better analogy. Leif Carlson, CEO of the Museum of the Future, compares it to an eye. To those who haven't seen it, we struggle, he acknowledges. nothing quite evokes the shape. The museum's design was chosen by the local architectural firm Killa Design in 2015. The architect says the solid component of the structure represents today's knowledge. The emptiness depicts the unknown, the future. The building's unique profile sets it apart from the hundreds of other construction sites across the Emirate. As the facade panels are installed, more of the Arabic calligraphy that will grace the 78 meters high museums outside is revealed. However, the words are recognized to be poetry penned by Dubai's ruler Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who is also the UAE's vice president and prime minister. The cursive inscriptions are the museum's windows. The 14 kilometers of LED lighting will produce dappled light across the column-free interior during the day and dramatic light at night. Constructing. The calligraphy plus the building's odd shape made this one of the most difficult construction undertakings ever attempted. The project's primary consultant, Bureau Happold Engineering, claims parametric design and BIM would have been impossible without them. BIM. Parametric design is an algorithmic approach that permits particular variables or parameters to be changed to change an equation's output. BIM is a collaborative three-dimensional model-based tool for building professionals. Despite its long existence, the industry has been sluggish to adopt BIM. We realized we needed everything digital since you couldn't specify everything geometrically, explains Tobias Bowley, project director for Bureau Happold's Museum of the Future. In that case, the shape would have been dumbed down and the construction would have been much more difficult. This project was made possible by technology. It required the project director and his team to quickly learn 3D modeling. Everyone had to learn BIM completely and adjust their daily routine, he explains. The first computational challenge was to fine-tune the building's theoretical shape to remove complex curvatures. These minute changes, which took a long time to complete, were imperceptible to the naked eye, but prevented future issues. Then followed the diagrid steel framework and the lightweight facade. An alternative to a steel or concrete shell was chosen for a building of this shape and complexity. Bureau Happold created its own growth algorithm to find the ideal diagrid configuration. A long procedure, but it allowed Bureau Happold to prescribe outcomes like having steel members of a single diameter and orderable from the market. The outcome was a diagrid with fewer connection points, smaller steel tube diameters, and less steel overall, saving the client, contractors, and fabricators money and time, according to Bureau Happold. Before starting construction, Bam Higgs and Hill and Aversendye Engineering performed a construction sequencing study and connection design for the structure, taking into account shifting stresses and loads throughout erection. A lot of member alterations occur due to the construction sequencing analysis, according to Bali. Because the diagrid had been optimized and modeled, none of the steel members were changed on this project, he claims. We used previous project learning and established tools to solve difficulties we knew existed, so we wouldn't have to confront them again. The steel work took 14 months after the reinforced concrete ring beam and tower that support the diagrid. Laser scanning was utilized to compare the as-built placements to the 3D model. The detailed 3D modeling also eliminated normal MEP installation issues. MEP frequently stymies a project late in the building phase. We believed it was a major risk, but it hasn't happened. It all fits so well, Bali remarks. You've already gone through the pain in the digital model, so stick to what you draw. The amount of labor put into the modeling part of things nearly makes it boring. The coordination of NEP engineering began considerably earlier in the project, so difficulties were resolved long before work moved on site. The museum's facade is about 60 to 70% complete. The small construction crew conceals the intricate engineering required to create each panel. No two fiberglass panels are alike due of the building's shape and calligraphy cutouts. Before the stainless steel finish and glazing, each of the 1,024 panels must be separately molded and fabricated. It's a labor-intensive procedure that just 6 panels may be made every day. Affan, the facade provider, spent a year to develop the panel structure and design, as well as prototype the production processes, including computer-controlled milling machines. Again, digital modeling is vital. These distinctive glazing units join with neighboring panels to generate the free-flowing calligraphy. Parametric scripting was used to establish the final position and size of the lettering to provide the optimal balance of natural light, solar heat gain, air conditioning load, and aesthetics, while also obtaining LEED Platinum points, the highest level certification awarded to green buildings. Because the building design is integrated, modifications to the calligraphy impacted the diagrid and MEP. We were trying to answer 4 or 5 simultaneous equations, Bowley explains. All the elements were constantly integrating and evolving. I can't tell you how happy we were when the first run of panels matched. T. Bowley. The Museum of the Future was designed to achieve LEED Platinum certification. The building will have modern building controls, gray water recycling systems, and regenerative drive elevators. Visitors can charge their electric vehicles while touring the museum, and parking places are limited to encourage public transportation. The museum will ban single-use plastic, and Carlson says cultured meats and alternative proteins may be on the menu. The museum's exhibits will also promote sustainability, climate change, space exploration, and the future of healthcare and wellness will all be covered in detail. The exhibit will cover how global warming affects important ecosystems and how to heal them. It will examine how solar energy collecting in space and asteroid mining may assist humanity, as well as spirituality. This year's theme is Humanity's Biggest Challenges and Creative Solutions. In the future, we will focus on people, not gadgets. L. Carlson. Using augmented and virtual reality technologies, the visitor will be transported into the future, creating an immersive theater experience. This is not a museum with things in cases with labels, Carlson explains. Many of the primary galleries will have no labels. It will be a fully immersive experience that involves the visitor as a participant rather than a passive observer. He intends to offer a positive outlook on the future in contrast to the entertainment industry's often pessimistic stance. We want to highlight how people may be creative while yet being realistic, he explains. The futuristic gadgets will be on display on one floor, but the focus will be on technology that will serve humanity, such as helping to feed the planet, provide clean water, or improve transportation. Over 1 million tourists per year are expected, half of whom will be from outside the UAE. The focus will shift inside at the end of the year, but the team understands that the exhibitions must be as impactful as the building that houses them. Still, Bowley hopes the museum will be a model for modern architecture. Due to its unusual shape, everything had to be planned ahead of time, from fire evacuation and smoke extraction to exterior cleaning. The number of lifts, the design of the toilets, and the arrangement of the ticketing hall were all determined using parametric models of people movement throughout the structure. The data from the planning and building phases will also be used to inform museum operations. Bowley believes he learned a lot from this project. The framework is intelligent and integrated, and the solutions are optimized. These are not just about saving the client money, but also about the building's safety, health, and welfare. This project forced us to change everything we knew about constructing. We couldn't have solved the shape-related issues otherwise. I think it's wonderful for the industry. Dubai's Museum of the Future has already become a showpiece for future technology building architecture. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more.